1, 2, 1, 2. Can you hear me? No. 1, 2, 1, 2. Can you hear me? Yes. Wow. I'm so delighted to be here, and I'm so excited about today. I was sitting there and I was thinking, ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Let's take a moment to engage in acknowledging each other, our humanity. Please take a moment, look in somebody's eyes, let them know that they matter, that you love them, that their life matters. Say hi, give them a hug. Let's do it.
Y'all man.
How you doing? Oh, so good to be here. So good to see you. No. Yeah. So whoever you didn't get to hug and say hi to, you can do it after service. I don't want to let this day go by without taking a moment of pause. It's been 2 years since our beloved, our dear Reverend Sheila made her transition, shuffled off of the mortal coil, our founding senior minister. And I can't let the moment pass us by. And I hope you don't go into sadness, but I hope you dive into gladness. Allow yourself to celebrate her life, to remember her love, to remember her laughter, to remember her smile, to remember her embrace, to remember her words, to remember her life, to join in celebrating life, to continue being ordinary people, endeavoring to do extraordinary things. Whew. Boy, we are moving into our theme for the month, Change Something. The principles that we're working with today. Principle number 1, and you can find it in the back of your chair. It's a trifold. I think there may be some in the back of your chair. If you'd like to follow along, and you can take it home with you, I would invite you to and to spend some time with it. Principle number 1, we believe in God, the living spirit, almighty, one, indestructible, absolute, and self-existence cause. And over to the right, it says, everything is spirit. Everything I see and experience is a manifestation of God. Principle number 2, we believe in the individualization of the spirit in us, and that all people are individualizations of the one spirit. Over to the right, the interpretation is the personification of God. Number 4, we believe that heaven is within us and that we experience it to the degree that we become conscious of it. Over to the right, it says there is nothing outside of me controlling my life. Number 5, we believe the ultimate goal of life to be a complete freedom from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. Over to the right, that's spelled out as personal freedom. I cannot change the world. I can only change myself. Change something. And as I've been thinking about Reverend Sheila this morning, I've been thinking about the song that she and I so love, that's by Laura Brennan, called Everything That I Am. And in the song, it states, I'm ready to be everything that I have come here to be. And I was reading the quote that Kutia provided for us, that she provides for us every Sunday, by W.E.B. Du Bois, where he says, the most important thing to remember is this: to be ready at any moment to give up what you are for what you might become. Change something. And below that, she submitted this by Neville Goddard: disregard appearances, conditions, in fact, all evidence of your senses that deny the fulfillment of your desire. Rest in the assumption that you are already what you want to be. For in that determined assumption, you and your infinite being are merged in creative unity, and with your infinite being, all things are possible. So we can further say it something like this: life doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you think about. Life doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you think about. And if you're going to change something, if we're going to change something, then we have to start with the premise that there is plenty, plenty, plenty. And not only is there plenty, 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 there is the potentiality and infinite possibility, possibility, possibility. Plenty, 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 possibility, possibility, possibility. I feel like I'm going to be talking real fast today. In this teaching, we speak about the nature of God. In this teaching, we also say that the nature of God and the nature of human, me and you, are the same. So for me, this is an invitation for us to begin to understand how things come to be. How things come to be. And the truth is that some of us has never thought about how things come to be. And some of us are engaging and expanding our consciousness to have a greater understanding of how things come to be. It's an opportunity for us to see how this situation or that circumstance came to be in our life. How this situation or that circumstance came to be in our life. In other words, it is an opportunity for us to engage in understanding how creation works, how we create things in our life. And our part in creating the life that we have, in other words, it helps us to see our part in creating the life that we have. And when we understand then how things came to be, then we can change it. You have to understand how it got to be the way that it is. And then your understanding of how it got to be the way that it is, in it is an understanding then of how to change it. And in order to do this, first, we must give recognition to who we truly are. We must give a great recognition to who we are, to the part of us that is greater. To give recognition to that part of us that is greater than our parts, that when it comes together, that makes us whole. To give recognition to the you that's invisible. To give recognition to that part of us that we don't see. And we must grow in our understanding that there is more. That there's more to you and more to me than meets the eye. There's more to you and there's more to me than meets the eye. Ernest Holmes calls it our invisible forces. In the Tao, it's called our inner conviction. Howard Thurman would say that it's the answer to life's greatest demand. Joe Dispenza would say that it is the genius in us. Matter of fact, take a moment. If you didn't get to say hi to your neighbor, turn to your neighbor and say, "Hi, genius." And turn to your other neighbor and say, "Hi, genius." Yeah, it's who we are. And so I want to read just a little bit from the book that I'm reading by Wayne Dyer, Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. And in it, on page 56, he reads from the 12th verse of the Tao. And it reads, "The 5 colors blind the eye. The 5 tones deafen the ear. The 5 flavors dull the taste. The chase and the hunt craze people's mind. Wasting energy to obtain rare objects only impedes one growth. The master observes the world, but trusts his inner vision. He allows things to come and go. He prefers what is within to what is without." And on page 57, titled "Living the Inner Conviction" from the same book, he says, in this passage of the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu reminds us that far too much attention is given to the pleasures and experiences of the senses at the expense of our inner vision. Focusing exclusively on the sensory data creates a world of appearances which are ultimately illusions. Since everything comes and goes, the nature of the material world is obviously restricted to transitory status. When our eyes see only the colors before them, they're destined to become blind to what lies beyond the world of appearances. We cannot know the Creator if we're focused exclusively on what's been created. In the same way, we lose our own creativity when we're unaware of what's behind all acts of creation. Sight, scent, sound, touch, and taste are the domains of the senses. If you're locked into a belief that the pursuit of sensory satisfaction is the focus of life, you'll be consumed by what Lao Tzu calls the chase. This quest for admiration, money, and power is a waste of energy because there's never enough. So striving for more defines your daily regimen. You can't arrive at a place of peace and inner satisfaction when your entire existence is motivated by not having enough. In fact, Lao Tzu states that the relentless chase is a formula for craziness. And so if we don't understand that we are more than our senses, if we don't understand this about ourselves, we will continue to be on a relentless chase. The theme is change something, not chase something. Change something, not chase something. In this teaching, we say that thoughts are things, that energy and mass are equal, identical, and interchangeable. In Living the Science of Mind, in the chapter titled Energy and Mass, Ernest Holmes says, when we say that energy and mass are equal, identical, and interchangeable, we are saying that energy, which is invisible, is the actual substance of the mass, which is visible. And that the visible and the invisible are the same thing. They are equal, identical, and interchangeable. It is equal to saying that what you see comes out of what you do not see. And what you do not see becomes what you do see. And what you do see and what you don't see are the same in essence. I'll read it for you one more time. It's equal to saying that what you see comes out of what you do not see. And what you do not see becomes what you do see. And what you do see and what you don't see are the same in essence. He says that energy does not do anything to matter, nor does matter do anything to energy. They are the same. If either one does something to the other, it is because the two are one and not two. And the one is all that there is. He says that we must realize that back of all form, or at the center of all creation, there must be a divine pattern, which is the reality of all of that thing. What we change is not the reality, but our perception of it. Then we must take time daily then to identify with the invisible that we are. We must take time daily to contemplate the genius within. We must take time daily to contemplate the intelligence that is within us. We must take time daily to contemplate the vital essence of our being. The Tao says it is our vital essence, all that we can't see that we are, that it is vital, that it's necessary, that we must take time every day to contemplate it, because thoughts are things. Because energy and mass are equal, identical, and interchangeable. If you are going to change something in your life, you have to be contemplating these things. It's a necessity. It's a necessity for us to begin to draw daily on the invisible. All that we cannot see is just as necessary as it is for the tree that's rooted in the rich soil, for it to daily to draw on the invisible. Because if it does not draw on the invisible, it will not flourish. It will not grow. It will not be all that it has come here to be. If you and I, if we are not daily drawing on the invisible, we will not be what we have come here to be. It is our vital essence, and it is necessary for us to flourish. If we are going to change anything then in our life, if we're going to change something, then we have to stop denying that invisible part that we are. We have to stop denying it. We have to allow it to flow through us daily, and we have to begin to depend on it. To depend on it and nothing else. to depend on the richness, to depend on the genius, to depend on the intelligence that you are and that I am in every situation and in every circumstance of our life. We have to begin to depend on it, because when we do, it helps us to transcend and to transform our life. Change something, in other words. It helps us to change something in our life, because life doesn't give you what